What's going on, everybody? This is Jerome Moore, host and creator of Deep Dish Conversations. And firstly, I want to say thank you for all love and support, and thank you for exploring the perspectives of social change with me on this platform. I want to encourage you all to like, subscribe, and follow us on YouTube and on your favorite podcast listen platform. And make sure you give us a 5-star rating if you're loving the Deep Dish Conversations. I appreciate all of the support again. I hope you all enjoy this episode. What's going on, everybody? This is Jerome Moore, host and creator of Deep Dish Conversations. In today's segment, I want us to talk about harm and punishment. Harm and punishment. Now, this impacts us on many layers, from a institutional, organizational, systemic, and personal layer. We have to figure out a way to stop centering everything around harm and punishment. You know, even in school, right? You get demerits, in-school suspension, out-of-school suspension. It's all centered around harm and punishment for doing something or not doing something. Are we just infatuated and get off to just harm and punishment in this country? Is that the case? I want us to really ask that question. Is that the case? Do we really just enjoy harm and punishment in our society? Do you enjoy seeing harm and punishment in our society? I really believe we have to do something different. We must do something different, because even from a crime perspective, a criminal legal perspective, we see that harm and punishment doesn't stop crime from continuing to happen in our communities. And know what's crazy? Even those that have harmed other community members go to prison or go to jail and are encaged and get out, because we know 90% of those community members that go to jail or in prison come back and re-enter our community. Even those individuals, after serving their time and paying their debt, are met with more harm and punishment. You know, what does that harm and punishment look like for those individuals? Well, barriers to employment, barriers to housing, right? Barriers to being a model citizen and having a second chance. More harm and punishment. How do we get away from that? You know, I know probably many of us grew up in a household where, you know, things were centered around harm and punishment. And so maybe we are indoctrinated with that at a young age, from home to school to adulthood. Harm and punishment. But we have to figure out a different way, another alternative to that, because it doesn't work. We see it doesn't work. It doesn't stop more harm from punishment from happening. So how else can we combat that? Or again, are we just infatuated and really just get off, you know, to harm and punishment as a country, as a society? Is it that just ingrained into our culture where we just all indoctrinated by it, and that's our preferred method of handling things, with harm and punishment, right? And that goes into a segment I'm gonna get into later on, which is restorative justice. And if we really want to accomplish that in this country, in this society, because that gets away from harm and punishment, in the way that we do it now. Harm and punishment. And also, you know, that's something I had to reflect on myself, you know, and I have to practice, because many of us, when we get angry, when we don't like something, probably our initial kind of thought is to inflict some type of harm and punishment on another community member of ours, whether that's a colleague, a friend, a peer, or just, you know, somebody just we randomly, you know, just ran into on that particular day. So I know I'm still doing that in internal work and trying to move from harm and punishment as an initial thought, or a thought at all, on how I handle situations, or want situations to be handled. Harm and punishment. I'm really interested in hearing you all's thoughts around this. So please share in the comments, are there alternative ways than harm and punishment? on how we can deal with situations in our community, in our country? Or is that just something, we're just so in love with that, it'll never go away? Harm and punishment. And so when I talk about exploring the perspectives of social change, we really need to explore this. We really do. Because this, in this country, it was founded on harm and punishment, right? But we need to get away from that. And we have to learn how to get away from it in our personal lives too. Definitely on a systemic, organizational, and structural, institutional level, but also on a personal level. Harm and punishment. Let me know what y'all think. And as always, thank you all for taking the time to listen to Deep Dish Conversations. Make sure you subscribe, give us a follow on your favorite podcast listening platform. Give us 5 stars as well. And continue tuning in and continue to explore the perspectives of social change in your community and in your life. All right, until next time. See y'all later.